We, mumesikia? Kijana wa mzee Tumbo amerudi kutoka quarantine na baba yake amemruhusu aingie kwa nyumba.
Ala, amerudi?
Yule ako na corona?
Hey.
Na si atatumaliza.
Kama ni mimi hiyo mzee, siwezi kubali leo kijana ingia kwa nyumba yangu. Nafukosa na hiyo.
Kwende kabisa
tu. Yaani wanaume mpaka nyinyi siku hizi mko na moshene. Ni ukweli kijana wa mzee Tumbo amerudi, lakini hana virusi vya COVID. Niwaulize kama nyinyi mlikuwa na corona, mungependa kufanywa stigma namna hiyo? Bushikeni njia muende zenu.
Ni jukumu letu sote kuwakaribisha na kuwapokea wale ambao wamepitia quarantine na kuhakikisha kwamba hatuwatengi ili kuwasaidia kurudia maisha yao ya kawaida.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na Uraia Trust wakishirikiana na Kenya Medical Association. Pamoja tukomeshe corona.
FM, your community radio station, local radio.
Content of the Constitution as it was promulgated in the year 2020. So far, the only teams that have been on the ground kina Uraia ambao tuko nao kwa leo and Brian and also Nekesa. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sorry Brian. Evans, we don't come from Uraia, we come from Fordage.
Oh, Fordage.
Yeah, Uraia is our development partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Brian, let's carry on.
Okay, thank you so much, Evans, and I'm surprised that time is moving so fast. Kindly just allow me in a very quick, in a nutshell. I just want to look at something very important in the Constitution that I would like Kenyans to understand and to know. And I'm usually very passionate about this particular part, which is called national values.
Yes.
In this Constitution, when we promulgated this Constitution, one item that was key, that was very key, was the national values. Because people with no values or people with no identity, then it becomes very difficult for those such people to develop and even to achieve the objective, to achieve their the intended development objectives and such. So one item was the patriotism.
Yes.
So when you look at, for example, the patriotism in our nation, for example, it is eroding so fast. People do not realize, for example, the importance of our nationhood. And the second one is the national unity. When you look at, for example, are we united as 42 tribes? Then there's also the spirit of the sharing. Do we share that value of sharing what we have been, what God gave us into this country, what gave us in this country? And the other thing is devolution of power, rule of law, democracy, and the most important one is the participation of the people in governance. It is in national values. These are national values that we should all of us wear in the morning, and every evening, every day when you are moving out, you should wear these values as you are moving around our businesses. Then there's also now the value of human dignity. So that the 47 million Kenyans, they have the human dignity. There's also the equity, social justice, inclusiveness, equality, human rights, and non-discrimination, protection of the marginalized. And now this one brings it to the Bill of Rights, whereby you're talking about, for example, in Article 25, we are talking about, for example, freedom from torture and the cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment. That's at some point we usually read in our media. You look at, for example, excessive force that has been used during this COVID-19 when the police have been implementing the curfew. So you go, like, for example, you find a police officer shooting live bullets against its own citizen, against a fellow citizen, a fellow human being like himself. You look at, for example, the chiefs, they have also been doing it. We have several cases that have been reported where the police have shot people and they have killed people and they have, they have injured others seriously. So when you talk about, for example, Article 25, it's giving us that freedom, that the bullets are not there to shoot people to kill. If you have to shoot, then you are shooting to maim, but not to kill. And now this also brings us to Article 26, where we talk about the right to life. So when you talk about the right to life, everybody is entitled wholly to his life, and nobody should, in Article 26(3), no person should be deprived of life intentionally, except to the extent authorized by this Constitution. That is the only time you can probably, maybe if it is there, you can deprive of life in an individual. And then you look at, for example, Article 29, where you're talking about, for example, like to be treated, punished in a cruel, inhuman, it is the Constitution. The Constitution bars and and stops and to tell us that anything like, for example, corporal punishment is an offense. in the spirit of this constitution. Or any violence meted on a citizen is uncalled for by this constitution. And then you look at, for example, the rights of an arrested person. When talking about rights of an arrested person, that the police must inform that person who they are
they do. Let's just be realistic. Do they do?
This is what let us go through. Then we ask ourselves those questions. We go through these. Then we shall ask ourselves this question. We shall probably maybe it is going to be possible. But we also ask the people to engage, because one thing the police must do is to tell the person they are arresting the reasons of arresting and introduce themselves, identify themselves, and tell the person that this is a police officer from the station, this is my name is this and here. That is the first thing. And the second item, that the suspect has a right to remain silent.
Yes.
And nobody should force the suspect to talk, because there are consequences of talking. Because the moment you start speaking, those probably maybe you are being recorded, and what you are speaking probably might be inconsequential and might be used at some point in the matter. And then when you are heard, you must be produced in a court of law within 24 hours. And anything beyond 24 hours, it is illegal. And then at that point, you should be able you should sue the station or the officer who arrested you, or the OCS of that station. You should sue them because of putting you in a cell for more than 24 hours. And then the other one is, like, for example, when you are put in a cell, you should not put in a cell whereby in places or in a mix of those people who are serving sentences in a jail, for example. There are times when they are brought probably maybe to Gong Court, and probably because of some reason or the other, they are brought not to Rongai police station. The cell that they are going to be put in, you're not going. You also you as an ordinary citizen who was arrested, you should not be put in the same cell. And the other one is you should not be compelled to make any confession or admit any guilt, be forced to admit any guilt of whatever kind until taken through a judicial or court process. Then there's one is, and then there's one is the right of board and the right of bail. When you're producing a court of law, when you're producing a police station, you should be given you're being given the option of a bail or a board. It is a right that you should be given. And you are being told, like, for example, the only reasons that you should not be given that board or a bail, it's probably maybe if there are some risks of you probably maybe running away from Kenya, or such reasons. Those are the only things. And those are only reasons that probably maybe can stop the police, the OCS or the court not to give you that bail or cash bail. And then the other one is, if, for example, a person shall not be held in custody if an offense is punishable by a fine only or by imprisonment for not more than 6 months. So if the offense you have committed cannot, like, for example, attract a sentence exceeding 6 months, then you're supposed to be released. You're not supposed to be put in custody.
I'll also add something to that.
Yes.
Sorry for interjection. I'll also add something there that the accused has also the right to call a lawyer to represent them.
Okay.
Yeah, they have that right.
And when the government gives you a lawyer, is it okay?
Still okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, but if the accused feels like they have a lawyer who can represent them, then they have that right to call their lawyer to represent them at that particular time.
In Article 39, that called fair hearing, the government must. It's a demand of the Constitution, must provide for an advocate at the state's expense. At the state's expense. And then any person willing to seek for representation, the court should avail that representation, at the state cost. And so an advocate should be available for you. It is a right given by the Constitution on the fair hearing process. Yes.
All right, thank you, Brian. Nona Munda, we have a lot to discuss, but time cannot allow us. It's 2 minutes after 9. Just a last word, tuanze na Brian, brief kabisa, at most 10 seconds. Because I know we can create another forum for this. Just sign out.
Thank you very much, all the listeners. Thank you, Fodaj, and thank you, Raya. Thank you, our partners and our and our donors. Thank you for this opportunity. We have talked to the many thousands of people who have listened to our voices, and we wish you, MMU Radio is also going to invite us here again and again. And let me say thank you very much, and we are also wishing you well, especially this time of COVID-19. We know the life is not very easy, and especially the GBV cases, they are on the high rise, and so we seek to be part of you. We will be sensitizing you. We will be doing all what is necessary during this COVID-19 pandemic.
Tumalizie.
Yeah, thank you, Evans, for hosting. I just want to tell, especially the youth, to be law-abiding citizens, especially now that we have a pandemic. This is a challenge for all of us, but we shall overcome it. Let's just follow the regulations and guidelines that are provided by the government and the Ministry of the WHO through our Ministry of Health, and we shall overcome.
Well, thank you so much. We are getting into the Kurunzi with Ronaldo Kemwa. Asanteni sana.
Bosi yangu mimi amerudi, niko sawa, nimekaa siku 14 huko quarantine, amepima mimi kila kitu, niko sawa. Hata nyinyi mnafaa mpimwe sasa.
Wewe Olemenye, ninajua ulikuwa watchman mzuri, lakini vile ulienda quarantine, uende kabisa. Mimi sitaki mtu anashukiwa na COVID akuje kufanya tena kazi kwangu.
Msee wangu, washa Olemenye arudi kazi. Kama amepimwa na amepatikana ako negative, ni nini ingine? Washa rudi kazi. Olemenye, rudi kazi, daongea na msee.
Asante sana mama, asante sana.
Tusiwafute wafanyikazi wetu kazi kwa sababu wamepitia quarantine. Kumbuka, kujua hali yao ya corona ni haki yao, na pia ni kulinda awapendao na hata wewe mwajiri wake. Tukomeshe unyanyapaa kazini.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na Uraia Trust wakishirikiana na Kenya Medical Association.